Hello, everybody, and welcome back to MLB 26 Road to the Show with Action Jackson Wilson. Yours truly, a rookie for the Miami Marlins, working his way up to the pros. We're currently at AA Pensacola, pitching for the Blue Wahoos, and our first appearance of the day will be with our team trailing. This is a rare instance for Wilson, but he'll try to keep his team within striking distance, potentially earn his first win. Wilson enters this game with an 0-3 record, but his ERA is at 3.2. Overall, it's been solid. Wilson's had some bumps in the roads, as is the case with every closer. He's been making it happen. However, this is not a good start right here, as we got an infield single down the third base line for Chattanooga, who Wilson has struggled against. I don't know, if I was the third baseman, I would have just let that roll foul. Now, granted, I don't think it would have with the trajectory it was going, but that was going to be an infield single no matter what. You see, even though he fielded it, he still had no chance to make the putout. So now with a runner at first, nobody out, the catcher will come out to converse with Wilson. Glad you're with us, guys. Well, we got a break in the action. Don't forget that Jesus Christ loves you guys. I don't care who you are or what you've been through. He's the way, the truth, and the life, and no one may come to the Father except through him. If you've yet to make him your Lord and Savior, I pray that you do so now, because otherwise you are condemned in your sin, and you are headed to hell after death. God does not want that for you, and neither do I. I love you, but God loves you more. We do this all for his glory. Glad you guys are with us. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get back to it. Anthony Steffen pops it down the left field line. And this is going to be caught for out number one. Good hustle by the left fielder to get over there. So following the infield single down the third base line, Wilson trying to bounce back following that quick pitcher's mound visit. Here's Alfredo Duno. We're at the right part of the order if we want to get out of this. Bottom of the order, we got to keep them cold. One on with one out. Duno walks to the plate. Wilson's going to give him a fastball. The delivery from the stretch is lined down the line. It's foul. Strike one from Jackson Wilson. That was in at 94 miles per hour. We're playing on that GOAT difficulty. New to this year's game, MLB 26 to the show. This is Road to the Show. We're in Season 1. Here's a disappearing changeup. This is down and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. First appearance of today's stream for Jackson Wilson. We're just getting rolling. If you're just joining, welcome. The pitch on the way. High fastball, top shelf, fitted perfectly by Wilson. At 95 miles per hour, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now Wilson's going to look to put him away right here. 1 on, 1 out. Here's the delivery. Ground ball up the middle. Second baseman's got it. The flip for 1 onto first. That's a double play. Jackson Wilson and his teammates coming up big here in the ninth. Wilson made the pitch, and the second baseman finally was able to clean up his act. The infielders have been struggling behind Wilson as of late, making a couple costly errors that resulted in blown saves and or losses. But this was a beautiful turn here. Bottom of the ninth inning. Can the Blue Wahoos rally? No, Chattanooga hangs on for the 1-0 win. This 6-game series is even at 2 apiece. Jackson Wilson with a scoreless 9th inning. That'll lower his ERA. As you can see, Wilson is still maintaining his status as the top closer prospect in all of baseball. He's number 15 in the entire Miami Marlins system. Pensacola 29-26 on the season. Currently second place in the Southern South. A solid ERA for Jackson Wilson here at the AA level at 3.05. Still looking for his first win, but he's had plenty of saves. A lot of big frames for the Wahoos. We're currently in a pennant chase here in the Southern South Division. Wilson has saved 16 of 20 opportunities. Like I said, he's got that 3.05 ERA. And here we go with the next boss challenge. Top of the 8th inning, runners at the corners. Steele Hall, who is 0 for 2, he's drawn a walk and scored a run. He's going to look to come up big for the lookouts. Meanwhile, Wilson is looking to get out of this mess and trigger some momentum for a 4-out save, which is being asked of him this evening. Here we go. We're going to go fastball up in the zone. First pitch of Wilson's appearance of the 8th is popped in the air to right center field, and that's it. Jackson Wilson has conquered the Boss Challenge and gets the Blue Wahoos out of a jam. It only took one pitch. Runners stranded on the corners. Wilson trying to put this away in the top of the 9th inning. But first things first, the Wahoos are going to try to give him some insurance. They can't. So the 8, 9, and 1 bats coming up for Chattanooga against Wilson. The ERA should be under 3 following that key out to end the top of the 8th. And now Wilson deals a fastball that's smoked into the left field corner. And that's going to be, it looks like a leadoff double. Unless the teammates can execute a miracle relay, they cannot. So there's Dugo with the tying run. His 3rd double this season. Wilson gave him a fastball, and he came out ready to hit. That was smoked into the left field corner. Not much room to breathe here as Shane Sasaki walks in. Wilson from the stretch, kicks and deals. That's hit high in the air to left center, and that's going to be a blown save. 2 pitches, and Chattanooga has tied the game. So Jackson Wilson, for the 5th time this year, and for the 2nd time against Chattanooga, has blown his cover. GOAT difficulty is no joke, guys. The bottom of the order, smoking it. 2 pitches, and it's a tie game. Now it's on Wilson to keep this game tied. But he's going to have to do it against the top of the order with nobody out here in the 9th. Line drive caught by the 3rd baseman. 1 down. This time Wilson went with the changeup instead of the fastball. Now in walks Ke'Bryan Hayes, the former major leaguer from the Pittsburgh Pirates, called back down to sharpen his game. Now Wilson's going to start him out with a breaking ball. Runner at second, 1 out. That drops in at the knees for strike 1. So Wilson was able to get out of the 8th inning, stranding runners at 1st and 3rd, but then he gave up back-to-back doubles on 2 pitches, allowing the tying run to score for Chattanooga here in the 9th. That's taken upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. Wilson has now blown 5 saves this season in 21 opportunities. The pitch to Ke'Bryan Hayes. He's bounced foul down the 3rd baseline. It's still 1-2. Wilson looking to record another big out with the go-ahead run at second base and first base open. That's right at the knees. Wilson's going to challenge. Boy, he would love to win this right here and get a big K. And that could not have been closer. Millimeters away from clipping the strike zone. And now Wilson's going to go with the breaking ball. Ke'Bryan Hayes 1 for 3. The pitch by Wilson. Got him! Strike 3. Wilson pulled the string on him, and he keeps the game tied here in the top of the 9th. That's a nasty hook to get Ke'Bryan Hayes. An electrified Bayfront Park. Now Cam Collier. Go-ahead run still at second with 2 outs. Wilson's pitch way outside. It's 1-0. So far today, Wilson came into the top of the 8th with 2 outs and runners at the corners. He got a fly out to shallow right to end that threat. But in the 9th, threw 2 fastballs and gave up 2 doubles and allowed Chattanooga to tie this game. Now they had an opportunity to take the lead with a runner at second, nobody out, but Wilson was able to rally and get the next 2 hitters, and now he tries to get the best of Cam Collier. Take some pressure off the Blue Wahoos for the bottom of the 9th. There's a fly ball into center. Great pitch selection on 2-0 by Wilson. He went with the changeup instead of the fastball. He blew the save, but he did not allow that go-ahead run to cross. Is this going to be Wilson's first win of his minor league career? We'll find out soon enough. We're going to have to play extra innings. Wilson's been busy here today. This is going to be his 3rd inning of work. Francisco Urbaez, who is 2 out of 4, he'll walk to the plate. Again, runner at second, nobody out. Wilson trying to clutch up again. Here's a fly ball to the center field. This should advance the runner. The catcher's made, and never mind. A perfect throw by the center fielder. And that go-ahead run is going to have to stay at his original station. Now Xavier Warren. He's 0 for 4 with a strikeout, a fly out, and a pair of groundouts. Wilson ready from the stretch. Set at the belt, and he pitches. That's in the dirt. Catcher tried to stop it, but he couldn't. And that's going to allow the go-ahead run to advance to third. So a rare wild pitch by Jackson Wilson. And now solid contact could give Chattanooga the lead. Take another look. It was down and in. Catcher did all he could. Now Wilson's going to come inside. The pitch. Swung on and missed. It's 1-1. Wilson's had some tight situations all night long. He had to come in with first and third, 2 out, and protect the 1-run lead. He did that. And after Chattanooga rallied to tie the game, Wilson had to pitch around a runner at second, nobody out in the ninth. He did that, and now he's got to do the same here in the 10th. That run advances to third on a wild pitch, and here's the 1-1 delivery. Another swing and a miss by Xavier Warren, and Jackson Wilson demonstrating nerves of steel right here. He's got ice water in his veins. Going to go with the breaking ball below the knees. Catcher, you got to be a brick wall. The pitch. Just got a piece. Still 1-2. Catcher puts down a slider. Wilson ready. He brings it.
That's inside.
Over the inside corner, and it doesn't hurt to challenge. We got nothing to lose in this situation. You got to make absolute certain, and that pitch was the right call by the home plate umpire. The count is even at 2-2. Now the catcher puts down the fastball. Wilson ready. Kicks and deals. Hopped in the air to left center field. That's going to be caught. They're going to try to push across the go-ahead run, and he's going to score. So an unearned run crosses for Chattanooga here in the top of the 10th. And the Lookouts have their first lead of this game, and now the manager's going to make a move. Jackson Wilson with a gutsy effort here today, but he blew the save with a 1-run lead in the top of the ninth, and now he's in danger of suffering his 4th loss. Still a great effort nonetheless, but it could have been better.
Now pitches for the Blue Wahoos.
Garrett Acton will come in for the Wahoos. Oh, wow, this is going to be tight. And Chattanooga wins again. The loss for Jackson Wilson. He drops to 0-4. 3-2 is the final from Pensacola. Wilson was able to shut him down in the 8th, but he couldn't do the same in the 9th. 1 run allowed on 2 hits and over 2 innings of work. Overall, pretty solid, but Wilson failed his ultimate duty, which was to save the game. And I look at it this way. Whenever you have a runner at second, nobody out, and you don't score, your team also doesn't deserve to win. I've had no offensive support whatsoever. The exception of one game where I recall they gave me insurance, but I still blew the save. All right, is this the game where Jackson Wilson finally can shut the door against Chattanooga? Been 2 teams he's been struggling against this year, Biloxi and these Lookouts. Dynamic challenges in store. Danielle, it's great to have you on here. We got another 1-run lead to protect. Coleman first to bat for Chattanooga as Wilson has a simple objective: shut the door. Yeah, I'd love to retire the side in order. We don't want to give them any type of life. Thanks to Danielle and everybody else for tuning in. If you're new, like, comment, and subscribe here on Ladder of Light Gaming. That's ripped foul. Wilson went with the changeup right at the knees. Strike 1. Got to get ahead in that count. Now the 0-1 fastball ties him up. He's able to fight it off. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Wilson with another opportunity to pick up save number 17. They'll try to put him away with the breaking ball low and in. The pitch. And he does just that. Catcher scoops it, fires to first. 1 down.
Now batting, the catcher, Alfredo.
1 down and 2 to go for Pensacola here in the top of the 9th inning. Another look at Wilson. Showing off his sweet stuff. Alfredo Duno. Last time he faced Wilson, he hit a double into the left field gap. This time he pops one into right. Wilson gets the better of him this time. 2 gone and 1 to go.
Now batting, the center fielder, Shane Sasaki.
Shane Sasaki, the last hope for Chattanooga. Yes, Danielle, I am a hockey fan. I like the Winnipeg Jets. Been following the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Avalanche, and the Wild series in particular. That's something you definitely don't want to miss if you're a sports fan. Avalanche up 2-0 with their win over the Wild tonight. That's hammered down the left field line, and we got a tie game. Chattanooga has done it to Wilson again. He threw a slider that hung, and the number 9 hitter, Shane Sasaki, takes him deep. A rare home run given up by Wilson. It's just his 3rd surrendered all year. But again, just like last game, we may be tied, but we're not losing. We got to keep him right here. What a shot off the bat of Shane Sasaki, and that Chattanooga dugout, rather the Pensacola dugout, can't believe it. That ball was crushed.
Now batting, shortstop, Alexander Vargas.
Now Vargas. Catcher goes out to talk. Double-A baseball. Pensacola and Chattanooga even at 3. Wilson gave up a game-tying home run with 2 outs here in the 9th, and now he ties up Vargas with an inside fastball, strike 1. Wilson's 6th blown save in 22 opportunities, and now he's losing. Another hanging slider, and Vargas takes him deep. What a heartbreaker. I cannot catch a gosh darn break against Chattanooga. 2 outs, nobody on. Back-to-back home runs, 1 for the tie and 1 for the lead. And it was on the same pitch, a slider that hung up in the zone. You can't expect to win when you put it right there. Man, oh man. 373 feet off the bat of Vargas. And here comes the manager once again. And Wilson's going to take yet another walk of shame. Man, we're getting lit up like a Christmas tree today, y'all.
Now pitching for the Blue Water,
Patrick Monteverde.
number 44, Patrick.
Lookouts probably won, and they did. Another loss for Wilson. He drops to 0-5. We're definitely not going to get to the big leagues pitching like this. We got to step our game up. Wilson's still the top closing prospect, but he's been struggling as of late. You know what? I think we just need to go to the next series. Got to flush this away. Act like it never happened. I think we just need a change of scenery, change of opponent. Because Chattanooga owns me. I'm not afraid to admit that. These last 3 games have been an absolute disaster. It's just the beginning. I ain't even close to finish. I got money on the other line. I got to get the call. If you ain't gonna make me better, I don't even get involved. Wilson back in the bullpen, looking to sharpen his skills, get back to being the pitcher that he was expected to be when the Marlins drafted him in the 3rd round. Hey, let this be an example. If you're going to play on GOAT difficulty, you're not allowed to make very many mistakes, because your opponent will jump all over you if you play with fire a little bit too much. There are the updated numbers for Jackson Wilson. He's still at 16 saves. He's given up 31 hits. He's got an ERA of 3.86.
Pitching for Pensacola, number 14, Jackson Wilson.
Looks like this is going to be another 4-out save. If Wilson can hang on.
Now batting.
His team leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the 8th.
Waddell.
As Luke Waddell will step to the plate for the Clingstones of Columbia. First pitch fastball coming from Jackson Wilson. That's a strike at 95 miles per hour. Wilson coming off a rough series at home against Chattanooga. Trying to get a little road cooking going. Get the charcoal re-stoked. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Luke Waddell. Swing and a miss. That's a good spot. That's something we didn't see from Wilson in the previous series. His ability to work the corners. Too many pitches hovering over the middle of the plate. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Luke Waddell. He jammed him. And it's still 0-2. I'm still getting used to this Eric Gagne release. Once I get in the zone, it's all over. The 0-2 pitch coming. That's a swing and a miss. The catcher knocks it down. He steps and throws to first. And Wilson is out of the 8th. That hasn't been a problem today so far, but it's the 9th inning where Wilson has been getting lit up. He's going to try to change the tides here as Pensacola takes a 1-0 lead to the final frame. It remains 1-0, and it'll be the heart of the order for Columbia against Jackson Wilson. First pitch slider for strike one. Unlike the previous game, that was where it was supposed to be. It didn't hang over the middle of the plate. Wilson was able to spot it. He does it again on the fastball at 94 miles per hour. Catcher signals a changeup. Wilson is ready. Batter digs in with an open stance. Wilson brings it.
Ball.
It's outside on a changeup, 1-2. Wilson this season, 16 for 22 in save opportunities. He's got an 0-5 record and a 3.6 ERA. Trying to work his way up to AAA and get to the Miami Marlins someday. 2-2 delivery. Fastball ripped foul. It was at 95 miles per hour to Brewer Hinkland. Trying to spark a rally for Columbia, trailing 1-0. The pitch by Wilson is tapped to first base. Another beauty that was down in the zone. And Wilson's retired the first two he's faced here today. Patrick Clohizzi. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a flyout, and a groundout. The first pitch from Jackson Wilson is headed home. It's a strike on a check swing. Now the 0-1. That's strike two. Starting to see another level of effectiveness by Jackson Wilson here today. There's going to be a third straight fastball on the way. And he got him! Strike three! One thing about Wilson, it doesn't matter whether he's going through adversity or dominating. He remains fearless. He boldly throws a third straight fastball, and it throws him for out number 2. All right, let's see if we can finish the job this time. 2 down. Nobody on. 1-run lead for Pensacola. The pitch by Wilson, that's a strike on a changeup. Over the outside corner off that perfect release. Now the catcher will put down a slider. Wilson agrees. He kicks and delivers. Ripped down the line, foul, and now Columbia's down to its last strike. Wilson's going to go with the 0-2 fastball up and in. The pitch on the way.
That's a ball.
Inside 1-2. Wilson's so close to his 17th save that he can taste it. He's been waiting for almost a week now. He's blown 3 consecutive opportunities, trying to put a stop to it right here. And he does! A swing and a miss on a perfectly executed breaking ball. Jackson Wilson is back, and so are the Wahoos. They're off to a roaring start here today with a 1-0 victory in a pitcher's duel. Strikeout rate remaining steady at 22%. Not bad for someone who pitches to contact. I mean, Wilson, of course, not having a problem finding the strike zone. He's only got a 4.6 walk rate. That's a 4-out save in the books for Jackson Wilson. He picked up 3 strikeouts and 4 batters faced. And I believe this is the first outing in quite a while in which Wilson has been able to finish the job without giving up a hit of some sort. He sinks his ERA to 3.65.
Now pitching for Pensacola, number 14.
And here he comes again. There are the updated numbers for Wilson here in his rookie season at Pensacola. 17 of 23 in save opportunities, making his 27th appearance.
Leading up for the Clingstone, the left fielder, number 9.
It's going to be another save situation here in the bottom of the 11th inning. Pensacola leading 4-1. Wilson's got an unearned run standing over at second base. He's not going to worry about him right now because it's just a battle between me and the hitter. Even if that run scores, we still have some breathing room. Wilson's first pitch of this 11th inning to Kevin Kilpatrick Jr. It's a slider up in his zone for ball 1. Wilson not afraid to mix things up to begin an at-bat. Very commonly you'll see a fastball or a changeup. Not necessarily the case with Wilson. There's a fastball. And that looked good to me, umpire. Let's challenge it. I think that may have caught the top shelf, and it did. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wilson trying to record back-to-back saves after a rough stretch in a home series against Chattanooga. That's line foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kevin Kilpatrick Jr. We'll try to put him away with a slider. The strikeout gene is returning for Jackson Wilson. But he gets contact here. That's still good news, though, as we get a first out. Runner at second will move to third. But in Wilson's case, that's pretty much a meaningless run at the moment. Even if Glod makes contact and allows him to score, we'll still have a 2-run lead. First pitch from Wilson to him. That's grounded to short. The unearned run will score. They throw across the diamond for out number 2. Jackson Wilson doing his thing in this save situation. And now it becomes basically
now batting, center fielder,
a 1-out save situation with a 2-run lead. Brewer Hinklin with the bases empty. He's ready to roll. So is Wilson. The delivery on the way. That's a called strike on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Catcher likes that pitch, so he'll put it down again. Wilson's going to go even higher with it. The delivery to Hinklin. Just a bit inside, 1-1. Glad you're with us here on MLB The Show 26, Road to the Show, with Action Jackson Wilson on hard difficulty. This is Ladder of Light Gaming. Like, comment, and subscribe. The pitch. Slider below the knees. It's 2-1. He got drafted by the Miami Marlins. We're the top closing prospect in the minor leagues. We're 0-5 here at Pensacola, but we've got 17 saves and 23 opportunities. Trying to make it 18 for 24. And this should be it right here. A lazy fly ball down the line, but it's going to fall for a hit. Hold your horses. The tying run is coming to the plate for the Clingstones. It's Drew Compton. Big, strong lefty. Tie the game up with 1 swing of the bat. And he just did. A 3-run lead in the bottom of the 11th is still not enough for Jackson Wilson. The GOAT difficulty cheese continues. Unbelievable. A lazy fly ball that looked like it was the end of the game. But the Clingstones had other plans. A 398-foot game-tying home run for Compton. And now here comes the manager. We got a new ball game yet again. 4-4 in the 11th. It really is frustrating because that was weak contact that we got on that bloop single. It was just put in the right spot. a bloop, and then a blast. But the Wahoos are able to escape. Back-to-back wins on the board. And Jackson Wilson is celebrating, but you could see the look on his face. He's disgusted. Cannot believe that this happened again. It's like our fourth blown save in one stream. Thankfully, my teammates had my back, but still. Yeah, Danielle, we're the blue team. Usually. Unless we're playing another team that's blue. But anyway, that's besides the point. Brighter days are ahead. Got to keep battling through the adversity. If and when we get to the major leagues, we'll be battle tested and ready to go. Hopefully. All right, next appearance coming up for Wilson, but first things first, back to the bullpen. The manager basically told me, okay, Jackson, we got a 6-run lead. Surely you can't blow this. Well, with the way today's stream's going, Coach, I hate to break it to you, but anything is possible.
Jackson Wilson.
It's obvious the coach wants me to use this as a tune-up inning. As you can see, my ERA has climbed to 4.26. We got to get our effectiveness back. Our team's going to need us down the final stretch of the season. First pitch by Wilson to Caden Connor. Is lined and caught by the second baseman. One pitch and one out. Let's go. We need a quick 9th inning. Keep pitching to contact. Let your defense do the work behind you. Catcher puts down a fastball. The delivery by Wilson.
Ball, that's off the
It's
plate.
inside 1-0. We're back at home against the Birmingham Barons. It's been all Pensacola Blue Wahoos here today, leading 9-3. The pitch by Jackson Wilson on 1-0. Slider swung on and missed to Josh Bro, who comes in with a current hitting streak of 12 games. He's 0 for 2 today, however. Wilson can play the role of streak buster. That's fouled away on a high fastball, 1-2. Wilson trying to put an end to Bro's 12-game hitting streak. The pitch on the way, and he does it! There's that disappearing breaking ball for out number 2. So Wilson so far living up to his manager's challenge. Without any pressure, get your game tuned back up. Got a nice 6-run cushion to sit on. Now Andy Weber. 2 outs, nobody on. The pitch by Wilson. Fastball low in the zone. It's 1-0. Weber today 1 for 3 with a single. Going to try to get a parade started with Birmingham trailing 9-3. The pitch by Wilson. Fastball.
Nope, that's a ball.
Are you sure? That looked like a high strike. That was letter high, umpire. Thank you. Even if it gets a little bit of that zone, it counts. And if it's just a sliver. 1-1 pitch from Wilson. Change up for strike 2. Wilson looking for a 1-2-3 9th inning. With his team all over Birmingham 9-3. The pitch on the way.
Ball, that's inside.
Fastball misses in. That came in at 95 miles per hour. And now the next from Wilson.
That's a ball.
Breaking ball right at the knees, and we're going to challenge it again. It stands. Full count. Wilson to Weber. Here's the payoff. Back to Wilson. He'll step and throw to first. Ball game over. Pensacola with a dominant win, a final of 9-3. No save situation for Wilson, but he still looked good. That was a much-needed inning for him. A much-needed victory for the Wahoos as a collective. Wilson trying to take that ERA down in what has been so far a forgettable month of June. June may be hot, but Wilson is not. But everything can change in the blink of an eye. As you guys know, especially the ones that have been with me since the very beginning, no matter how many times I get knocked down, I'm going to keep bringing it. And that's what we have to do right here. Plenty more action coming up for Jackson Wilson in this series against Birmingham. This time it will be a save situation. Wilson has blown 7 saves this year. He's 17 for 24. And he also has an 0-5 record. He's had a couple of save opportunities in which he had a 3-run lead and still couldn't hold it. But he's trying to build off the momentum of his previous outing here today. That's a fastball for strike 1. Weber went after it. First pitch hacking. It's 0-1. Now Wilson will give him a changeup. It's a beauty and it's grounded to third. 4 up, 4 down so far for Wilson in this series against Birmingham. 1 out, and in walks Josh Breaux. Wilson struck him out in the previous game and ended a 12-game hitting streak with a talented righty. And now Breaux will check on the center fielder. 2 up, 2 down.
Now batting, right fielder Wilfred Barrett.
I think we're finally getting back on track, guys. I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks like things are finally going our way again. Wilson trying to make it back-to-back perfect innings, this time with a save opportunity on the line. Here is strike 1. 5-2 Pensacola over Birmingham here in the top of the ninth on a rainy evening here at Pensacola. The pitch. Strike 2 to Wilfred Veras. We're going to stick with the smoke here. Veras settles back in. Back foot in the back of the batter's box. Open stance. The pitch by Wilson. Fought off. Still 0-2. Catcher wants a fastball, but Wilson's going to with a breaking ball. This pitch has been getting more and more effective for Wilson by the day. And there it is! Absolute filthiness. And Jackson Wilson finally is back in the save column. He's got his 18th on the season. And the Blue Wahoos take this pivotal Game 3 against the Birmingham Barons and go up 2-1 in the series. And they level their record to 33-33. All right, the ERA back to 3.95.
Number 14.
Wilson looking to continue his domination against Birmingham. And he'll enter this game with the score tied, 2-2. The 8-9-1 hitters due up for the Barons. Who's going to blink? Down the final stretch. The pitch by Wilson. Slider for strike 1. Sprinkle chokes up slightly on the bat handle. Wilson working from his stretch with the bases empty. Out of the air at Gagne form. The pitch on the way. Fastball grounded foul. Good pitch by Wilson in on his hands. 0-2. Change up coming. The delivery.
That's a ball.
Just outside. 1-2. Crowd wanted the umpire to ring him up. But that was definitely the right call. Now here comes a breaking ball. That misses away. 2-2. Welcome to the new viewers here on Ladder of Light Gaming. You're watching MLB 26 Road to the Show with closing pitcher Axon Jackson Wilson, rookie season on GOAT difficulty. Like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you are new. The pitch on the way. Fastball popped in the air to right. This ball will die at the track. One down. Wilson's now retired 7 straight in this series against Birmingham. Now we got a boss challenge. Billy Carlson. On the season is batting .240 with a home run and 15 RBIs. Still looking for his first hit here today. Wilson's going to go cutter on the first delivery. The pitch is a beauty, strike one. That came in at 91 miles per hour on the radar gun. Now the 0-1. Fastball lined into center field. That's a base hit. 1 on with 1 out for the Birmingham Barons here in the top of the ninth. Billy Carlson wins this boss challenge. And now Wilson's going to try to keep this game tied. Lost the battle, but he's trying to win the war. The pitch, slider for strike one. Kyle Lodis, 1 for 3 with a single. On the season, he's batting .286. Catcher puts down a changeup. The pitch by Wilson over the inside corner. That's strike 2. He rests the bat over his back shoulder. Open stance, rocking the bat. Ready to roll. Here comes an 0-2 slider from Jackson Wilson with 1 on 1 out.
Ball 1.
And misses down. 1-2. Wilson has thrown back-to-back scoreless frames against Birmingham. Trying to make it 3 and keep this game tied going to the bottom of the ninth. The pitch coming. Pop foul. Good spot for that fastball that caught the inside edge. Left the hitter no choice but to spoil it, and he did just that. Now the 1-2. Change up to first. Steps on the bag, throws to second, not in time. So Wilson records the second out, but the go-ahead run moves up into scoring position with Wilfred Veras next to hit. Veras trying to break out of a funk in crunch time. Comes into this at bat 0 for 4 in today's game. Trying to figure out Wilson here in the ninth. Breaking ball bounced up the middle, and he did just that. And Birmingham has taken a 3-2 lead.
Now batting, designated hitter, Caden Connor.
First pitch breaking ball from Wilson. Apparently he was looking for it. This GOAT difficulty, man. It's really something else. Now Caden Connor. He's also hitless. And there's strike 1. Connor with 3 strikeouts and a lineout. In this series, he's 3 out of 16. Strike 2 from Wilson, who is now in danger of losing his 6th game. He came in with a record of 0-5. But he's trying to limit the damage and keep Pensacola within striking distance. Ripped down the right field line, and that ball is down and off the wall. Runner is around third. He'll stop there. Caden Connor handles a tough pitch for his 14th double of the year. If you're Wilson, what else can you do? That thing was in on his hands, and he still smoked it into right. Look at that. That didn't even catch the barrel. Now Josh Bro. Wilson deals.
Ball.
Now we're going to challenge this. You have to. We need strikes however we can get them. Especially in this situation, now down 3-2. Bro can break this game wide open. The pitch by Wilson on 1-0. Lined into right field. That's down. Nope, it's caught. I thought for sure that was going to fall. That would have scored at least another run. But the fielder was in the perfect position. But the Blue Wahoos, either way, the offense has work to do. Trailing by a run, down to their final 3 outs. Bottom of the ninth inning, Brendan Jones is the last hope. And he hits one into left field. It's going to drop in for a single. So Pensacola not backing down to its final out. And we fell short again. Teammates consoling Wilson in the dugout. He's doing everything in his power, but he just cannot pick up a win. There's a look at the final stat line today for Wilson. 1 run allowed on 3 hits. He entered the game, the score tied. Gave up a go-ahead tally and took his 6th L. That brings my ERA to 4.13 for my rookie season in the Miami Marlins organization. Playing on GOAT difficulty. This is Road to the Show here on MLB 26, The Show. And that'll take us to the end of the series. Overall, a solid one for Wilson. He picked up a save through 2 scoreless nights. 3rd appearance didn't go as planned, but they say 2 out of 3 ain't bad, according to a popular Meatloaf hit. Oh, look who we got next. Chattanooga Lookouts again. Can I finally get some payback against this daggum team? Continue to work on that control. My pitches are catching too much of the plate, especially as of late. Can't take this for granted. I don't care if we have a commanding 3-run lead. The way things have been going for Wilson as of late, no lead is safe. Wilson getting set to face what has been kryptonite for him. This Chattanooga Lookouts team. First pitch by Wilson today is over at the knees, but outside, ball 1. It will be the heart of the order for Chattanooga, trailing by 3. Right-handed batter walks in, facing the right-handed Wilson. The pitch, lifted down the right field line. That's going to go foul, 1-1. Catcher puts down another fastball. Wilson ready, and he brings it on 1-1. Swing and a miss by Urbaez. 1-2. Now the breaking ball. This is low and in. 2-2 from Wilson. The rookie out of North Carolina. Working through the minor league system of the Miami Marlins. Still at Double-A Pensacola, working on his game. The 2-2 pitch.
Ball down.
That is right at the knees, umpire. Wouldn't hurt to challenge. We'll take anything we can get here. But it was the right call. It's now 3 balls and 2 strikes to Francisco Urbaez. Wilson elects to go change up instead of fastball. And he got him! Okay, umpire, you definitely missed that one. That's definitely strike 3. 1 down. That thing's right in the box. I don't know what he was missing there. Carter Graham. So apparently we've got umpires that have lookout jerseys underneath their uniforms. But Wilson working through the adversity. He deals ball 1 to Carter Graham. Graham is 2 out of 3 today for the Lookouts, who are trailing 5-2 against Jackson Wilson and the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. The pitch on the way is fouled away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Next pitch. Pop foul. 1-2. Graham again. Ready. So is Wilson. Changeup coming. Downstairs. 2-2. Good block by the catcher, even though it wouldn't have mattered either way. The bases are empty. No runners to worry about, at least not yet. Wilson trying to keep it that way. 2-2 coming. Strike 3 called on the fastball. Don't want to speak too soon, but it looks like Wilson may finally be getting his big break against the Lookouts of Chattanooga. Here is Edwin Arroyo. First pitch by Jackson Wilson is a swing and a miss on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Changeup coming next. That's a swing and a miss. 0-2. Wilson trying to break through finally against Chattanooga. The pitch fought off. Tried to surprise Arroyo with a fastball in the zone on 0-2. And now he's going to test his patience. Going to go breaking ball below the knees. The pitch. Grounded foul. Edwin Arroyo went after it. Going to do the same pitch even lower. The delivery. See you later! Finally, Jackson Wilson can celebrate against Chattanooga. He picks up his 19th save of the season in 25 opportunities. And the Wahoos even this series on enemy ground. Despite all that he's been through in this recent stretch, Jackson Wilson is still the top closing prospect in all of minor league baseball. He definitely looked like it in that appearance as he sets the Chattanooga Lookouts down in order. The team that had had his number the past 2 series he had faced them. We're looking to turn over a new leaf. You got to believe. Get it? And leaf your past behind you.
Jackson Wilson.
There's a look at some minor league numbers on the league leaderboards. Jackson Wilson tied for second for the most saves. Again, despite all that he's been through, he's right there with the best of them. And now he can save it against the Lookouts again. Again, it'll be the heart of the order, with Wilson leading 7-5. He's got to end this inning without allowing a run. Francisco Urbaez ready to hit. Wilson ready to bring it to him. The pitch.
Ball 1.
Start him out with a breaking ball. And misses outside for ball 1. It's 1-0. Urbaez, who came into this game hitting .217, is 3 out of 4. That'll raise it average a couple points. Wilson evens the count at 1 as Urbaez fights off that fastball high and outside. 1-1. Now Wilson's going to go with the changeup in. Past Wilson, but his teammates are there for backup. Never mind. I thought for sure that was the second baseman that caught that. But a leadoff single for Chattanooga gives the Lookouts life here in the bottom of the ninth. That got past Wilson right up the middle. The Lookouts remaining pesty against Wilson, and here is Edwin Arroyo. The delivery. Fastball, that's up the middle for a base hit. 2 on with nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth. The winning run is coming to the plate for the Lookouts. All right, we got to clutch up here. Here is Xavier Warren. First pitch slider from Wilson.
Inside.
The umpire says it's inside, but Wilson wants him to take another look. And the umpire was correct. It's 1-0. Wilson's next pitch is hit in the air. to shallow right. The runners will retreat back to their bags at first and second. Or so we thought. The runner at second tags, and he'll get the third. The runner at first will stay put. That's the run that matters. But at the same time, the hitter matters equally because one swing of the bat, he could be the winner. A double play would end the ball game. Wilson's first pitch to the left-handed batter, Yerlin Confident, is grounded as short. Wishful thinking, and the wish is our command! Jackson Wilson finally has something go his way in crunch time. Back-to-back saves for Wilson against the Chattanooga Lookouts, and he is now tied for the league lead with 20 saves and 27 opportunities. As you can see, our record has reset as a team. That's because we've officially begun the second half of the AA season. And Jackson Wilson is off to a solid start. The third-round draft pick by the Miami Marlins looking to continue his development in a positive direction. Updated ERA is 3.86. I can't wait to have my attributes higher because it'll be so much easier for me to hit my spots. You know, coming out of the gate on GOAT difficulty, I know it's a demanding challenge, but we're doing it despite having a low overall. Jackson Wilson, who has 20 saves on the year, looking for number 21. And look, he can do it again against Chattanooga. Boy, a trifecta would definitely be satisfying right here. After Wilson blew 3 saves earlier in the year against the Lookouts. End the inning without allowing a run, shut the door, and get us out of here with a series victory. First pitch by Jackson Wilson to Carter Graham. There's a slider pulled down the left field line. That's going to go foul. There's a slider at 84 miles per hour. 0-1. Wilson's next pitch on the way. Fisted in the air to center, but he couldn't get it on the barrel. Center fielder makes the catch. 1 down here in the bottom of the ninth. Rain beginning to fall here in Chattanooga as Edwin Arroyo walks to the plate. Wilson trying to make this a quick night, so there won't be any significant delays. First pitch to Edwin Arroyo. That's a beauty over the outside corner for strike 1. 83 miles an hour on that changeup. Now Wilson's going to go with the high cheese on the top shelf, up and in. It's fouled away by Arroyo, fought off. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes, and now we're going to go Cutter up in his own. The pitch by Wilson. Got him! Strike 3. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Adversity being conquered. Wilson coming out stronger than ever. Maybe I just needed a little break. And maybe we just needed to flip the script to the second half of the season. Nothing wrong with a fresh start. And Jackson Wilson is trying to pick up his league-leading 21st save, and he just did. A fly ball into left center, plenty of room out there. The catch is made. And Jackson Wilson, after blowing 3 saves in 1 series against the Lookouts, he's on the opposite end. That's 3 consecutive successful saves against Chattanooga. Let's go, guys. Let's keep it hot. Blue Wahoos have taken 3 out of 4 so far against their hated rival. And this has got to be relieving for the Miami Marlins front office, seeing Jackson Wilson finally getting back into his groove. It took a minute, but we're definitely doing it, guys. All right, we're going to keep this stream going up until the Major League Baseball All-Star break. Next up will be the Trash Pandas. a team that Wilson has had plenty of success against. But you know what? If that is the last time we see the Chattanooga Lookouts this year, we definitely got the last laugh. Finally, Wilson can rest on his laurels. All right, here we are in Rocket City. In a pressure situation, tie game, bottom of the ninth. One mess up, and it's over. Wilson doesn't want to make that same mistake again. He's given up a total of 38 hits in 31 innings. That's a rate that could be improved on.
Number 14, Jackson Wilson.
But Wilson's been solid in every appearance since the second half of this minor league season began. And that's really all that matters right now for the Miami Marlins front office, because these stats that you see here in the minors, they're going to be crumpled up and thrown in the trash once you get to the majors. It's all about development. And Wilson is going to open this with a ground out to short. And shout out to the shortstop, making that great scoop and showing off his range from the edge of the outfield grass. One pitch, one down here in the bottom of the ninth. Here is Mac McCroskey. Catcher wants a slider. Wilson brings it. That's strike one. Wilson mixing up his pitches nicely. Catcher puts down another slider. This one tailing away from a right-handed batter. He gets it off the end of the bat, but that's going to drop in for a hit. Again, that's just another instance where you just got to shake your head. That was off the plate. The hitter was off balance, but McCroskey still able to get on base, representing the winning run. Now Josh Crouch. The pitch by Wilson. High and tight, ball one. Crouch has had a great series so far despite being in the 9-hole. He's 3 for 9 with 4 RBIs. An unexpected contribution. The bottom of the order, a secret weapon, if you will. The pitch. Lined over the head of the first baseman and into right field. That's going to send the winning run over to third. Runners at the corners with only one out. And Jackson Wilson is in danger of losing his 7th game of the year.
Now batting, first baseman, Ryan Nicholson.
Now we really need a double play. But this is not an easy double play candidate. Ryan Nicholson's got speed at the top of the order. We just need to record an out of some sort without that winning run scoring. Wilson's going to go with the changeup. The pitch on the way. Ripped, and that's it. Trash Pandas win. They tag Wilson for 3 hits, all with 1 out. And Wilson is now 0-7. I wanted that pitch lower in the zone. Again, it catches a little bit too much of the plate. That's been my biggest struggle in the early part of my career. Throwing strikes hasn't been a problem for me. Just got to work on that location just a little bit more. Then we'll be the effective pitcher that we desire to be. Man, rough start to this series. The Trash Pandas take each of the first 3 games. At least we were able to salvage 2 games. Wilson wasn't needed in those 2 wins, though. 9-4 and 10-1 victories. Now the Blue Wahoos will return home to face the Montgomery Biscuits leading up to the Major League Baseball All-Star break. Wilson slowly but surely beefing up his overall. And now he'll make an appearance in a non-save situation with the Blue Wahoos leading the Montgomery Biscuits on home turf, 8-4.
For the Blue Wahoos, number 14, Jackson Wilson.
Overall, pretty good campaign, I would say. It definitely hasn't been elite. But despite all that we've been through on the hardest difficulty in the game, ultimately can't complain. We'll find our stride eventually, guys. We're doing better as of late. Let's keep building on it. Will Simpson will lead it off for Montgomery. We'll have the top of the order against Wilson. Here's a strike. 94-mile-an-hour fastball over the inside corner. Now the 0-1.
Ball 1.
Changeup misses a little bit in. 1-1 from Jackson Wilson. Pensacola 8, Montgomery 4 here in the top of the 9th inning. The delivery is popped in the air to shallow right. He makes the catch for out number 1.
Now batting, the left fielder, number 9.
Great cutter in on the hands of Will Simpson. Wilson gets him, and now here is Noah Myers. Myers batting from the left side. The pitch by Wilson. Fastball, strike 1. Over the inside corner. See, that's what I need to be doing right there. I've been trying to, but a lot of my pitches have been ending up in the middle of the plate, which is not good. Like right there, we caught a break. He wasn't looking for the fastball that time. It was at 95 miles per hour. Now we're going to give him the changeup on 0-2. The pitch on the way from Jackson Wilson.
Ball 1.
This is down and away. 1-2 the count. Let's try a cutter. Wilson ready. He kicks and delivers. Check swing, he got him. Noah Myers down on strikes. 2 down for the Montgomery Biscuits here in the top of the 9th.
Designated hitter, Brady Margett.
Now Brady Margett. Wilson, who's averaging more than 1 strikeout per inning, picks up a K of Noah Myers, and now the umpire calls that a ball, but that surely looked like a strike. Wilson's going to call for the challenge. And it turns out it is ball 1. Wow, that's crazy. No harm done, though. 8-4 lead, top of the 9th. The pitch.
Ball 2.
That looked like that caught a little bit of the plate, but the umpire saw differently. It's 2-0. Wilson doesn't fall behind on hitters very much. Got to battle back right here. Fly ball into left center. This is playable. And a 1-2-3 9th inning in the books for Jackson Wilson against Montgomery. Looking to head into the Major League Baseball All-Star break on a high note. High fives and fist bumps all around for Pensacola, who improves to 8-5 in the second half of the season. They're currently ranked 2nd place in their division, the Southern South. Now let's move on to the next game.
Now for the Blue Wahoos, number 14, Jackson Wilson.
Jackson Wilson preparing to make his 36th appearance. He's been used a lot by this Pensacola Blue Wahoo staff. Not just for save situations, but instances like this, tie games, and also situations where he's got to keep his team within striking distance. Here's a slider on the first pitch to Cooper Bowman. He rolls it over to first base, one down. That's a good sign for Wilson. When he's right, you'll see a lot of ground balls. Here's Brady Margett. It's either ground balls or a lot of lazy fly balls. Wilson to Margett. Grounded to short. This should be out number 2. Great jump throw and a good scoop over there at first. 2 down. Here in the top of the ninth. Wilson trying to put the Blue Wahoos in an opportunity to walk this off and pick up the first win of his minor league career. Great job by the defense. Caden Bodine.
Ball.
Ball 1. Bodine 1 for 4 with a single. Batting with 2 out and the bases empty. The pitch by Wilson. There's a strike at the knees, 1-1. Came in at 95 miles per hour. Now we're going to go breaking ball. Catcher wanted another fastball, but Wilson not going to risk that.
No, that's a ball.
There's a good bender to Bodine, but he doesn't bite. Doesn't take the bait on the fish hook. It's 2-1. Now another fastball coming up in his zone for Wilson. The delivery. It's a beauty. 2-2. 93 miles per hour. Crowd rises to its feet here at Pensacola. They're always overjoyed when Wilson can control the flow of a game. He's got exciting electric stuff when he's on. With pitches like that. Cutter beautifully painted over the inside corner. Just call Jackson Wilson Pablo Picasso II. Incredible job. But unfortunately, we can't walk it off. So now Wilson's going to go up against Mac Horvath, who took him deep earlier in the season at Montgomery. So a little redemption has to be in the air for Jackson Wilson. First pitch of extra innings is off the plate, ball 1 to Mac Horvath. This season with runners in scoring position, the former Tar Heel Horvath is hitting 187. Wilson trying to pitch to him and acting like if there's nobody on base. There's a fly ball into straightaway center. This should be playable, and it is. But the go-ahead run will advance to third with 1 out. So Jackson Wilson, who has retired all 4 he has faced so far here today,
The batter, number 8, shortstop.
could unfortunately still be on the loser's end despite his ERA shrinking. That run over at third is not charged to him. That's the ghost runner that was implemented into extra innings by Rob Manfred a couple years ago. There's a ground ball rolled over foul to first base by Adrian Santana. Now the catcher wants a fastball. Wilson's going to go upstairs with it. The pitch to Santana. Rip foul, 0-2. Now you best believe we're going to go out of the zone, but the catcher has to keep everything in front of him. A wild pitch gives Montgomery the lead. The 0-2 from Wilson. Breaking ball in the dirt. The catcher makes the stop, and Wilson gets the strikeout. 2 down, and the go-ahead run will remain at third. Wilson coming up clutch for his team down the stretch. This is what the Marlins have been waiting to see. Been a couple of weeks since Wilson has shown this production, but it looks like it's finally back. Wilson went through that humbling sequence that every big leaguer goes through, but it's a matter of whether you could stay or not. Wilson trying to prove that he can stay. Strike 1 as he goes top shelf to the leadoff batter, Will Simpson, who is 2 for 5 with a pair of singles and a run scored. Go-ahead run at third base, 2 out. First base open, top of the 10th. The pitch by Wilson. Slider, checked his swing, and Will Simpson able to hold up. Just barely, 1 ball and 1 strike. No changeup. Go-ahead run at third, 2 out. Check swing again by Simpson, and again the umpire says he's able to hold up. No challenge from the Blue Wahoos. And it's 2 balls and a strike. He's going to be looking fastball. Let's give him one, but up in the zone. The pitch. Fouled away, see? If that thing was over the middle of the plate, it's probably in the left field bleachers for a 2-run shot. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Jackson Wilson to Will Simpson. Wilson trying to keep this game tied at 5 despite having a runner at second with nobody out. The delivery.
Ball.
Breaking ball down and in. Full count. On deck is Myers. Runner takes his lead over at third. Catcher puts down a fastball. Wilson ready. He kicks and deals. Fouled away by Will Simpson. Now the changeup. Wilson deals. Strike 3 called. Jackson Wilson, ice cold water in his veins. Ghost runner at second, it didn't matter. But the teammates still can't get me a win. Now Noah Myers. He'll lead things off in the top of the 11th inning. First pitch by Wilson. Confidence rising. Fastball misses upstairs, 1-0. Catcher puts down a slider. The pitch by Wilson to Myers. Rolled over to first. Again, the go-ahead run moves to third. Biscuits do a great job moving him over.
The batter, the right fielder.
And now here is Slater DeBrune with first base open. He's a power bat. Now Wilson's going to pitch to him. The pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs, 1-0. That was at 96 miles per hour out of the hand of Jackson Wilson. Now the catcher puts down a changeup. Runner at third, 1 out, top of the 11th. 5-5 game between Montgomery and Pensacola. That's inside. Catcher able to keep it in front of him. It's 2-0. This might be a situation where Wilson isn't offering the intentional walk, but I think he's secretly giving it to him. He's not giving him anything easy to hit, especially in this situation. There's a good fastball on 2-0. It tied him up. It's 2-1. And now the next pitch from Jackson Wilson is on the way.
Ball.
It's a changeup below the knees, 3-1. To Slater DeBrune. Go-ahead run at third for Montgomery, 1 out. Pensacola has had 2 opportunities to walk it off in the home half of an inning. They couldn't do it in the 9th. They were unable to do it in the 10th. And now Montgomery finally looking to pull away against Wilson here in the 11th. Popped up. Will they test the arm? No, it's not deep enough. Jackson Wilson has done it again for the time being. He gets the crucial second out, and now the manager is going to pull him. What an effort by Jackson Wilson here today against the Blue Wahoos. And there can't be anybody more pleased in this ballpark than his manager right now. Zach McCambley will enter. The Biscuits take the lead. And they win the game. Rob Manfred, I'm going to call the front office and demand that you take away that ghost runner, because that's the only reason that I took a loss in this game. A run that wasn't even my fault, but I get criticized for it because our reliever allowed him to score. The bad news is we lost the game. The good news, we're in first place. We're 8-6, which is good enough for the top spot in the Southern South. What a tough loss for the Blue Wahoos. But again, if you got a runner at second, nobody out, in back-to-back innings and you don't score anything, you don't deserve the win. Plain and simple. This loss isn't on me. This is on my teammates. I'm sorry, I don't like pointing fingers, but I couldn't have done any more in that game. I got almost every single batter out. I threw almost 3 consecutive scoreless innings with our backs against the wall. I mean, that was the effort that I needed right there. That'll definitely get us back on track.
Out for the Blue Wahoos, number 14, Jackson Wilson.
So here comes Wilson again.
Now that's the center fielder, number 10, Brock Jones.
All right, we got 2 on and 2 out. We only need to get 1 out. How hard could it be? Let's finish the inning with a lead. You get more points for that. It comes down to the number 9 hitter, Brock Jones. The first pitch by Jackson Wilson, headed home. That's strike 1. Wilson painting the corners once again. That's a positive sign for the Blue Wahoos. We're looking for more pinpoint control from their 3rd-round draft pick. And now he goes on the outside part, and that is an absolute perfect pitch. No balls and 2 strikes to Brock Jones. Wilson trying to slam the door here in the top of the ninth and strand those 2 runners on base. The pitch, curveball rolled over to second, and he will do just that. That's a 1-out save for Jackson Wilson, his 22nd save overall, and the Blue Wahoos take a 2-1 series lead against the Montgomery Biscuits. Let's go, y'all. It's rally time for Jackson Wilson, proving that he belongs in this game and that it's only a matter of time before he breaks out and finds his stride. The question is, are we seeing the stride now? As Jackson Wilson has dropped that ERA nearly 1 full point over the past 2 weeks alone. The record may not be attractive. I'm 0-8. But half of those weren't even on me. Now, granted, I've blown 7 saves, so I should have a few losses on my record, but that last loss that I took was freaking ridiculous.
Out for the Blue Wahoos, number 14, Jackson Wilson.
I think this is going to be like my 40th appearance. We're pretty close. Game number 38. What can I say? Your boy's been asked of a lot of work. Now we got a chance for another save against the 8-9-1 hitters for Montgomery. Blue Wahoos trying to cap off what has been a dominant series so far. And that man, Jackson Wilson, looking to improve his credibility. Looking to get that call up to AAA Jacksonville sooner rather than later. As usual, let's end the inning without allowing a run. Let's slam the door. Wilson has retired Mac Horvath every at-bat since he took him deep back in Montgomery. Strike 1 to Mac Horvath, who can't believe that pitch. That changeup looked filthy. Definitely wasn't looking for it. He was taken all the way. And now here comes the heater from Wilson, and it's over the inside corner, 0-2. So Wilson definitely flipping the script. He went from somebody throwing batting practice to somebody who's becoming unhittable. Mac Horvath spoils a slider on 0-2. Remains alive. Another 0-2 from Wilson. Fastball, Horvath with another foul. All right, we got him used to some pitches up in the zone. Let's go change up below the knees. The pitch.
Ball 1.
Horvath remains patient. 1-2. Montgomery trailing by 3, needing 2 base runners to have a chance. Horvath trying to start the rally against Wilson.
Ball.
Slider off the plate. 2-2. After Wilson started Horvath at 0-2. 2-2 pitch. Another foul ball. Horvath in a battle with Wilson as he waits on this 2-2 cutter. Strike 3 called. Nothing Horvath could do about that one. Again, the pinpoint control that Wilson had been lacking a couple of weeks ago. He's starting to look like he did in high school and college. Finding his form again. Just like when you're following Jesus Christ, it's not a matter of whether you have it all together. It's how you handle yourself, knowing that you don't have it all together. Jackson Wilson remaining tough under all this adversity, continuing to battle and proving that he belongs at this level. Ball 1, slider to Gregory Berrios. Wilson trying to enter the Major League Baseball All-Star break on a high note, as his 1-0 pitch is fouled away by Berrios. Catcher wants a fastball, but Wilson says changeup. And it's right at the letters for strike 2. Excuse me, that was at the knees. One ball, 2 strikes, the pitch.
No.
Oh, umpire, are you sure about that one? If this is strike 3, that's another master class from Jackson Wilson. And look at that. Perfectly placed again over the edge. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jackson Wilson with elite pinpoint control on display. Fastball popped up by Slater DeBrune, the leadoff batter, for strike 1. Wilson working from the stretch, bases empty. The delivery, lined into right field. Teammate is right there. 3 up, 3 down for Wilson. Getting back to his old form. Making quick work of his opponents and racking up the saves. He's now got 23 on the year here at AA Pensacola. Rookie season, MLB 26 the show on GOAT difficulty. This is Road to the Show here on Ladder of Light Gaming. Welcome to the new viewers. God bless you. Like, comment, and subscribe. I love you, but God loves you more. If you have yet to make Jesus Christ your Lord and Savior, I pray that you would do so now. He's the way, the truth, and the life, and no one may come to the Father except through him. 5-2 the final, as Jackson Wilson remains on a heater here in the month of July.
For the Blue Wahoos, number 14.
Wow, I'm definitely
Wilson.
needed a lot here in this series. Here comes Wilson again. Another save opportunity, this time only leading by 1. 4-3 here in the top of the 9th inning, as Wilson will face the big bats for the Biscuits. Wilson looking to set him down once again. First pitch on the way is popped into center field. 1 pitch, 1 out. Wilson again looking to eat these biscuits up. Wilson loves biscuits, especially when they got some extra butter. Fan in the background saying, "Go home, biscuits." Wilson trying to send him home after getting 2 more outs. Here's strike 1, a slider at the knees to Will Simpson. Here comes the 0-1. On the way. Fisted down the right field line. It's going to go foul. It was nearly souvenir time for the fans, but it fell barely short. Now here comes another slider on 0-2. Wilson is locked in, ladies and gentlemen. Simpson off balance, and he's got a one-way trip back to the dugout. Say we're working out of that Eric Gagne stretch. Wilson's starting to look like Eric Gagne. He also looked up to Mariano Rivera growing up. Speaking of Mariano Rivera, we're going to go with Rivera's signature, the cutter, in on the hands. Strike 1. And a 92-mile-an-hour pitch. Great to have you guys here. We're actually coming to the end of our stream here shortly. It started out rough, but we definitely turned things around. This is Road to the Show on MLB 26, GOAT difficulty with Jackson Wilson. Closing pitcher for the Miami Marlins, drafted in the 3rd round. Starting at AA Pensacola and working my way up. No balls and 2 strikes. 4-3 Blue Wahoos of the Biscuits. Wilson trying to put together another solid 9th inning and rack up a dominant series win. The pitch. Got him! Bullseye! If that is the last pitch of today's stream, Jackson Wilson couldn't have ended it any better. Blue Wahoos take 5 out of 6 from the Montgomery Biscuits. And that will indeed be our final pitch on today's stream. The Blue Wahoos are in a playoff chase in the Southern South. They've won 12 out of 18 since the calendar flipped to the second half, and Wilson has turned over a new leaf ever since it hit July. Wilson's starting to become like the July sun, red hot. I mean, Florida is the sunshine state after all, and Jackson Wilson is starting to shine like the sun. Another dominant outing is in the books. Jackson Wilson looked like a top dog all week against Montgomery. He got payback against Chattanooga, and he also shook off a rusty outing against the Trash Pandas in between. I think today's episode is going to be titled, How to Conquer Adversity. So, like I've said, no matter what happens, win or lose, Jesus Christ gets the glory because at the end of the day, He's already won. He will pull us through. With Him, we ultimately can't fail because our salvation is already secure for those who follow Jesus. I pray that you guys would do so now if you haven't already. Make the decision to leave your past behind you, turn from your sin, turn to Christ, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. May the peace that passes beyond all understanding and the unconditional love of Jesus Christ, the one and only true God, may it be yours today. In His holy and almighty name. This has been another presentation of MLB 26, Road to the Show, here on Ladder of Light Gaming with Axon Jackson Wilson. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. It would definitely be appreciated. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.
I walk through the city real slow, like I've been